Congratulations.
What's
Well
up?
done.
You
Well
guys.
done. They said you're getting married.
Can't I first introduce the podcast?
Nah,
Then we start
you
with
pass
the
us.
questions.
You and a
You
cousin.
can't
I have a ring
man.
on my
You
finger.
look very happy. Now, are you the woman in the relationship?
I thought this
Are you the woman in the
things
relationship?
you have to have.
Are you the woman in the
baby.
relationship? No, I don't have a ring on my finger.
You guys will make me shy, man.
Congratulations, you look happy.
Thank you very much.
looked in charge.
She picked the shirts.
You look
Picked the shirt, she picked the tie. She picked the tie. So yeah, it's going on well. Life is moving nicely. Those who are broken heart-wise on the TL, sorry. Maybe if we don't close it this weekend, then maybe
they can get a chance.
polygamy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You can just take you to the mosque, you become a Muslim.
Yeah. Swahaba.
Tough it out.
Shak Wahaba.
You make noise for us, but you don't want to.
Why do you want me to shout?
As if you're talking to Chibenga.
Guys, you see the drama I have to deal with today. Another episode of the Rugby podcast. I deal with the space on Monday, then I have to deal with more chaotic guys on Tuesday.
Now you have a wife added to the equation.
Now you have a wife.
My wife is lovely. My wife is lovely. My life is lovely. So please, let's have a lovely podcast today. Today I'm on the left. I have guys on my right. I have
lovely.
Hey, where's Olavely coming from?
Heathens one, so you have to shout out to.
Is Olavely the only female in Heathens, you know?
Pretty much.
I don't know Lucy.
And Lucy. But you can't just shout out Lucy, man. You know Aaron. You have to ask permission.
That's permission. So I have Gabriel Aredo on my right. What's up? Say something.
I'm alive. Glad to be back.
You see, I had to host my function when guys were at rugby, so that no rugby guys come and sing Omuchere Munyama at my function.
You might have introduced someone else's person, right? So
Yeah. Then on my far right, I have the guy of the locker room. I used to listen to the locker room. I still do. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Moses Echodu, you also once got married.
Mine was for a good cause.
But
not
as opposed to
eternal.
mine.
Yours is for, we don't know. Matoki at 2 a.m.
Wait. You got married for a good cause?
Yes.
People get married for good causes.
Yes.
You thought
What else?
love is the greatest cause on earth.
Yes.
He got married for 2 a.m. Luombo.
2 a.m.
Me, I got
Exactly. Though there are people who get 2 a.m. Luombo without being married.
I need that cheat code. I need that
We're going
cheat
to
code.
discuss it
Look,
today.
we
Wait
work
and
with
see.
Zeno.
Yes.
Ah, my lord.
You should listen to them, man. It's chaotic, man. The guys go at each other,
The
especially
locker
when
room,
they
you
just like chaos.
when they
That's
have
why you
vipers, when they're discussing then Ugandan rugby, then whatever.
There's a Kambuzenga fala.
Yes.
How is it that guys are so tapped in so many sports? Me, I find it very difficult
That's a
to
very good question.
digress from rugby.
No, you must start with
I
your
like
portfolio of
motorsport.
sports.
It's not about digressing per se. Now, for me, where my love for sports came from,
That's something I don't understand. Like, may I have love for a sport?
you have love for a sport.
A sport.
Listen, when I had cancer at the age of 8 to 9, basically my life was at a standstill. Yeah, so all I had to do was watch TV. So you'd find I wake up, I'm watching football at 2 a.m. because at that time my sickness was just giving me insomnia. So at 2 a.m. I'm watching Portuguese Serie Superliga. I'm watching Bundesliga. By then, those were leagues that were being played late in the night. At that time, most of the parents are dead asleep because they have to wake up the next morning to go to work. Then you have NBA in there as well because it's late in the night. You have no sleep. Then you have boxing that was always weekends. Tennis was also weekends during daytime. And I had an uncle who would always watch tennis and golf. So that is where my love for majority of the sports came from.
Okay. I get the picture, but
Even
like
no God.
let me like elaborate. My mom played netball, and I think did some athletics. My dad not so sporty. My late grandpa, my late dad was in Nokayongera Kako. My late grandpa, sportsman as well. Played tennis, played golf, played a little bit of snooker. Not a little bit, a lot of snooker. I had an
Snooker is that
uncle-
with pool with
Snooker
very
is-
many
it-
colors of
No,
the
it's a
ball.
bigger table. Much
Bigger
bigger
table.
table.
But symbols,
Not really. Anyway, so the family is full of sportsmen. On my mom's side, I have a couple of cousins who have played football professionally. I have an uncle who played football professionally. Owen plays. This one has played.
Already
Still
played.
playing.
Joseph played.
We also
rugby
play.
and
Joseph
football.
Yanimpoze.
what doing your cousin?
You're on the family tree.
Welcome to our family home.
Anyway,
Before I came out and started, I had to go and say hi to the people inside there.
Because it's
Literally.
home.
it just doesn't make. Guys, okay, I get the understanding of the sport. How do you follow
All
that
those sports.
at
Yeah.
the
That's,
same
that's,
time?
I think that's the one.
Like,
Like,
and
so,
to follow something. Okay, you're a journalist, fine, partly, but I mean, you do not follow sport because you're a journalist. You love these sports, like.
yes,
You
there
can
and
find, there's a friend of mine I have, Aleko. The man, cricket, he's jazzing. No, tennis, same. Rugby, boxing.
same energy,
UFC,
basically.
same
Same
energy.
energy.
Zero.
The thing is,
I
there are
can't.
people
I don't know
who
how you
find
do
like
that.
like I love
Rugby is
motorsport.
taking my life.
I love motorsport. Not
And
even
Manchester
F1.
United.
not F1.
Mm.
I love motorsport and mostly like WRC.
Yeah.
I love motorsport. Like I know the drivers, I know the cars they're driving,
Yeah.
we know the specs, we know ABCD about the cars.
The
But
cars,
I do not get as hyped as when I'm watching rugby. All those things. Like I'd be like, guys taking the car. Video, but you guys, every subject. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm reading it on Twitter, but the energy just be right there. It's like you guys have typed in capital letters.
The energy has to be there.
So the thing is, so for some people, it's a profession that they were dealt into.
But even when you say it like that, some people it's a profession. But we've been we with this internet we currently have, we can see how people are specialists.
Yeah.
For example, right now the way we have Ernest,
Yeah.
Ernest is a specialist.
Yeah.
He loves rugby. He'll talk rugby.
Yeah.
You'll not find him in KB
Talking
or
about
things.
football and the things there.
Yeah. Yes, there are things I'll find him with the KCCA just going to watch football sometime. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. But you'll not find him having a conversation about what? Football at that level.
Yeah.
But there are guys who will have a conversation about every sport and they will try to go down to that level. And I don't think it is that easy. And especially guys who do not play sports.
So
It's
for
kind
example,
of-
now me,
Yeah.
as a person who covers lots of sports,
Yeah.
I specialize strongly on a few sports that I hold so dearest to me. For example, I'll talk very, very fondly about football. You can wake me up in the morning and I'll talk about football from A to Z. You'll wake me up in the morning, I'll talk about basketball from A to Z. Yeah. But I'll talk about rugby because I love rugby. I grew into rugby. I didn't grow up knowing much about rugby. That's the honest truth. I started watching a lot of rugby because of Joseph Aredo. Surprisingly, by then we were in the same class.
Western talent.
You get what I mean? And everyone would see moments where Aredo will not be in class and they will not understand why is it. But to me, because I would see newspapers, the guy has been called up. So I was like, okay, let me go and see what, you know. That's how we got into the sport. And then, you get
You picked it up.
but I will talk about Formula One from the moment you wake me up, the moment I sleep, because those are the three sports that
What team do you support in Formula One?
everyone is a Ferrari fan.
True. Even the Mercedes guys are Ferrari fans.
Everyone is a Ferrari
Me,
fan.
I'm just a Lewis fan. That's all.
It's okay.
Lewis made me understand the sport. So.
Even Lewis himself is a Ferrari fan.
Yeah,
So
everybody loves
yeah.
I'm
Ferrari drivers, not Ferrari.
no Ferrari fans. to be
Ferrari.
honest.
Everyone is a Ferrari.
Anyone you ask will tell you. If you ask them, I think, can you drive for Ferrari? They will be like,
Yes.
We refused it. We refused that cheat deal from Ferrari. We refused. Just it away.
Who?
We Lewis.
Who is we?
We Lewis people. Anyway, back to
Now we're discussing the one sport and the one and only sport,
Yeah.
rugby. But before we discuss rugby, where were you? We saw you. You did go to see Miss Rwanda. You went to see some basketball. How does that experience like?
I've been to Rwanda a couple of times for basketball.
Eh.
I've been to Rwanda to watch the Silverbacks.
Yeah.
That was last year. Then went for BAL. Then I went again to support the Gazelles, which was just the recently concluded one.
Yeah.
I wanted to have been there this weekend as well to this week actually, yesterday and today for Giants of Africa. But what commitments?
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you have a day job?
Yeah,
He does.
I do
It
have a
allows
day
you
job.
to
Everybody
move
knows he
around
has a
like
day
that.
job.
Oh my God.
You
Change jobs, man.
it's a case of
talking.
Change jobs. Choose somebody.
no, for me it's a case of
Hey.
I look at the year's calendar,
Yeah.
and I plan around that.
I see you taking shots at some sports that we're going to discuss. The year's calendar. Caesar, the year's calendar. Do we have one?
Yes.
Is it coming?
Who?
Are you going to leak some facts about this year's calendar?
Me?
Yes.
There's for what? For rugby.
Okay, there is one.
All I know
This
is-
weekend there is Tororo Sevens.
The only thing on my
Wait.
calendar, sports-wise, is the COP's general election. Nothing else.
Hey.
Hey,
Brought your emotions back to this place.
wow, when is that finally happening?
December, hopefully.
Guys, we welcome back from the Chadondo Sevens. It was one of those remarkable tournaments, both from the tweets that came out of Chadondo Sevens. There are two I want to highlight, but we'll start with the one this guy made earlier today.
Yeah,
Which guy?
You
Who
made
is you,
something. You, Gabriel, I don't know. You made something.
Jaguar.
Was it one half man, half what? Whatever. That counts.
What? Have what?
He said,
Half
half
chips,
chips,
half
half pilau. You bagged some tweets about. I don't know if you're taking a shot at the photographers or us who post the influencers who post these things, but you highlighted and said that there is an issue with pictures being taken of
Not the pictures being
plays
taken.
that are
The
rather.
the problem
Yes.
is not the pictures being taken.
Yeah.
The pictures being taken is okay. Yeah. Let the caption match the picture.
Okay.
You cannot post a guy being tackled, seatbelt tackle, being choked, being strangled, and because to you,
it looks.
I don't even know who you are at this point, because a rugby fan would know that that's an illegal play. So that is a dangerous play. This is not something that can be highlighted, promoted, pushed to generate traffic. That is stupid. That casts a funny light on the game.
Yeah.
Kids, new fans, and all think that is actually
Okay.
So I'm like, why would you post this? Like, someone posted Michael's tackle, which had been cited for. Then there was
Which was awarded a yellow card for.
Yeah.
Was he was yellow carded?
Yeah.
It was
Before
yellow
we
card.
continue,
Yeah.
that tackle, I didn't watch rugby last weekend. That tackle,
Why
the photo, I was around.
Anyway.
You also know Kwanjula.
Actually,
He was part of the entourage.
that tackle, the photos going around in Twitter in the middle of the tackle. It doesn't finish it. How did it end? Because I'm asking, did he plant his head first or he landed on his back?
Back.
I don't
Because
He was shoulder.
you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
Because-
Okay, fine.
We
fine.
punished-
Fine. Let me answer your question.
We punished her
Let me.
for a tackle almost similar to that.
Yeah.
Almost not, but almost.
Let me say. The last picture I saw was the upper back, part of the head and neck.
Yeah.
Truth be told, Michael would have gotten a larger
Raja
Punishment.
a bigger punishment, apart from the yellow. But the fact that
Say it.
no.
Say it.
No. Okay, we don't have we didn't have video to review that particular moment as opposed to the other circuits, because at the other circuits we're getting what they call it, we would get a cut of the video straight from the guys who are filming at that time, so they could review it and cite it immediately. Citing this tackle would have taken longer. Getting that video would have just been a whole problem.
Is it
However, no, it's not. This is because of anything. However,
Skill and space is-
the ease,
assured?
no, the ease with which you will get footage from person A is different. The ease with which we get footage from person B. So, however, anyway, we are digressing.
Yeah, we are.
So person
People
A,
have been no,
Person
we
A,
are digressing.
person B,
We have been digressing. So
digressing.
let's do like this.
Yeah.
Let me explain myself so that let everyone understand.
Yeah.
Take all the pictures you want.
Yeah.
Diamond. Post all the pictures you want. Let the captions match the pictures you're posting. You
Or
can-
create
it's-
something that is
it's-
legal.
Or create debate on the issue.
Create debate on the issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensitize the masses. Use it for something. If you want to post an action picture, there are several action pictures that are there. They are good. They are very good clean tackles. They are the finishes from Abuang. They are a lot of good rugby was played over the weekend.
True, definitely.
But it's like the guys who are running our social media are not trained. First and foremost, you have to protect the sport. Your sport cannot grow if you keep on tarnishing it.
And we do a lot of
we don't want to agree on that. We want to put everyone on blast, but that's the truth. Even the guys are always putting people on blast. When they're put on blast, they're the ones who go hiding. They go crying, but they're not talking about me or talking about you. No. And that is the nature of what? Humanity. My problem was a guy posts a picture of a guy being tackled high and he thinks that that is something worth
posting and selling around.
And saying and like oh, there's that caption that kills me, the one of they told me to play rugby, they told me to be fun when you're being flipped. If I'm being flipped legitimately, sure. If I'm being flipped on some illegal hit, that is stupid.
But there's another caption for
pregnancy
test.
I'm waiting for half chips, half pilau.
Half chips, half pilau.
What does that mean? First of all, that children is dangerous. Protection is working. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
that's a pregnancy test.
But
What are you guys on
to say
about?
something before.
Yeah.
The last ban you've been on,
Yes.
it involved some photographer. Now you're attacking camera people. What's wrong with you?
But he's not
You want
attacking
to go?
photographers.
You want to go on a
No,
ban
he's
again?
saying
You have
the
to fight for
captions
Gab.
should. He's saying the captions should match the.
Yeah, 'cause
Photography is
the-
captions.
No,
Caesar,
What
the
is
role of the
cameraman
photographer,
alone?
the
No,
role
what
of the
is-
photographer is
no.
different from the role of a social media person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person who is running the platforms has, like Gaba said, has the responsibility
Of captioning properly.
Understand?
And also
But
using legal photos. Photos that
yes.
Even
Now,
if, you're using,
maybe-
even if you're using the one where there's like an infringement, there's a penalizable offense and whatnot, you bump it there, then you say this is a high tackle, and when you're putting such things, you need to make sure you have done your research behind that particular picture. Like there's one I saw whereby I don't think they because it's just a photo. If a guy scores, or if he doesn't score, would not know whether the guys were penalized for doing that, would not know whether the guy was sanctioned for whatever he did. Now you're just seeing a picture, some of us, and you're like, what happened here? This is bad. This does not portray what the sport is about. Because yes, we're going to make mistakes in the game, but the mistakes are not what defines the entire game. Yeah.
my
So
guys say,
someone had first told me, come defending as usual. They came firing. Yeah, those are the pictures. Those are the action pictures you give us. I'm like, so in a whole game, in a whole day when we are playing, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
yeah.
The only action we gave you was high tackles. I was like, no. He eventually called me. Then we had a discussion. I told him, I think you just didn't understand what I meant. But what I meant is like, if the guy has made a high tackle, you call it a high tackle. If the guy has tripped, he has tripped. If it's a forward pass and you can get the motion of the ball, like you get the right angle of the ball going forward. If the guy, like it's like posting a video of a guy stamping on a person's chest, and then you're hyping the guy stamping on the chest, or you're saying that this is what rugby is supposed to be. You're not even hyping the guy stamping. You just post a video there with no caption or anything.
Yeah.
At least the video will let me know that this is up for debate. We can begin discussing it.
So
Yeah.
for me, what I can say is, in terms of people who run the club or team socials, or even the union itself, who run the union socials, which by the way needs some work. It's incumbent to them.
They're like bullets here, like.
It's incumbent to them to do the
Yeah.
education, and because the biggest challenge that we're facing, that you're going to face, Gab, I'll tell you this in advance, is there's a lot of not knowledgeable people about the game who have come into the game, and they will pick those images and they will post that.
And they're going to write that.
And they are going to write that. And they are going to ride it for long because
Because to
banter.
him, it looks like,
You get what I mean? Like, and for some people who come into the sport for the first time, this is it's a game of smash and go. You get what I mean? And so they will make those tweets, and for them it's okay. But for the guys who understand the game, probably what needs to be done is, if say for example, if someone makes a tweet and you can clearly see that it's an illegal play, Edwin will come on and say, yeah, this looks like a good picture, but this was an illegal play, ABCD.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge that the Uganda Rugby Union now has is because, again, I feel like there was a gap where the people who there was a distance between the fans and the guys who knew the game. There was a gap.
Is the gap growing bigger?
There was a gap that grew. And so now you're finding that there are now people who are coming into the sport. Most of them are new.
Yes.
And they don't understand the sport as much as you would have wanted them to understand. For some, by the you'll find that, for example, no shots taken.
Yeah.
You'll go to Chadondo.
Why doesn't Fat Cats have rugby shots?
Not
short and body.
Yeah.
Shorts, like short videos,
Pew.
educating.
The
educating the fans.
Had,
Like
no one
rugby
wanted
shots.
to tackle me in the production corner, so yeah, put that on hold.
No,
till
but there's
next
a time when I saw certain questionnaires that were being put out by Fat Cats. Educational questionnaires, really. So again, back to my
This
point.
is only fans. This is even players.
Even players.
Yeah. So
Because a lot of people are guilty of this thing.
That's why you see there are some international games we watched and we're receiving so many cards. Anyway,
Chadondo, huh?
I'll give an example.
Yeah.
Chadondo, you find there are new fans,
Yeah.
young and old, who do not understand. The only thing they know about the sport is celebrate a what?
A try.
A try. You know, celebrate a conversion. You get what I mean? You'll go to Kings Park. Very many young people have come to Kings Park, and a great job done by Kings Park team. But in terms of branding and all that stuff. But what they need to do now is to take the next step to try and educate their fans. Because there are times when I've seen banter get into the point of punches.
Yeah.
And it comes down to not both maybe sides of fans not understanding a few things about the game.
Okay.
Get what I mean? So Gab's point,
Valid.
very rich
Very
rich point. That the pictures, especially that came out this weekend, a lot of pictures that came out this weekend really had so many infringements in them. But now the question is, the people who are knowledgeable need to do
Basically, because these guys just don't get these pictures from anywhere. Yeah. These pictures are normally shared like with your social media handlers and stuff.
club
So
officials.
when they send those pictures, let me guess, like the handlers. I think before like sharing on the fans group, you sift through them, look at them, even if you're going to share all of them. I know it's a lot of work to do, but it's work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
You're going to share the clean ones with no captions, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Then when you begin to share the ones which look like people need lessons on, you begin by explaining this is a high tackle. Cause some debate in the groups, let people understand, let people ask why it's a high tackle or why it's this or why it's that. And then that is how you'll find more educated posts about the sport, which will in turn probably attract some more attention, because they say that you can catch a fly with either shit or honey.
Yeah.
What I think, to finish with this point, what I think, we can't control what a fan posts on Twitter or a photo or anything. What we can control, and you see, there are influencers, there's the term influencers, there are people who influence what happens on the TL. For example, in the rugby world, I want to believe Fat Cats, the social media handlers, the Rugby Nation, or whatever those people do, the Rugby Union pages, they do a lot to influence the narrative of rugby. So what I think, if the various social media handlers and various agencies that actually work in rugby, they ought to have the knowledge, or at the very least seek out for information before they go ahead and post. Because if, say, the COP's social media handler sees an issue that involved the ref, and then already knows the rules, for example, already knows the rules of the game, and me as a fan, I will see a call and I say this is cheating. But him or her, they will be able to either know that this is actually a correct call, but people just lacked information, or seek clarity from, let's say, the organizations that run. So what I think is the people that we should educate, and like Gap was saying, the people that should are these handlers, because when the quality of posting from all these social media handles of the clubs and the union improves with the fans, because after all, like Gap says, almost all the time we get this information from these same handlers. So
The pictures to
the
share.
pictures to share and the information to let out. So once the clubs do better,
Yeah.
I guess everyone else, you will not have a debate where a fan is, because educating a fan
Educating a
rugby
fan is not easy.
It's not easy.
First,
And
it
then
takes
they
time.
think they know.
Then that is not a fun.
Okay,
I know.
now talking about fans, there was a tweet, and I want to bring this in with the recap of what happened at Chadron over the
Because I need to
weekend.
know.
There was a tweet by a Trip successor, Sunny, that started a little bit of debate where they said Rosenberg is biased or is cheating or something like that, and how we managed to post out a few videos courtesy of NBS Sports, just highlighting those things. But as we trigger our discussion towards your recap, you won, I won, you played, did you play? I was at Equangela, my function. Caesar was also part of the entourage. So yeah,
Okay,
tell me your recaps, highlights of the weekend.
Well, first of all, I think Chadron organized a very good tournament. To begin with, the players came and played brilliant rugby. Some teams, of course, lacked players. Case in point.
You mean they lacked players? There were teams like
No, they were
players on pitch.
They were players, but
Because you know what it means. Yeah.
some teams lacked key players. Case in point, Pirates, Corps, Evans, one or two players here and there. Then you have Mongers. I think Rhinos also had a player or two who were taken, who were called up. But overall, most of these teams really put up incredible performances. I was really I enjoyed every time I was watching Mongers and Rhinos play, because the way they seem to just focus on doing the basics: get the ball, pass it, move, swing, move. Don't try to complicate your game a lot. And I think I really enjoyed watching them. I think for me, they have been, of all the circuits that I've been able to watch, those two teams have been my two standout teams.
What was your highlight?
Sorry?
What was your highlight?
My highlight?
Your
personal highlight.
Watching them, that is general. What was the highlight of the day? Maybe you saw Nyash, we don't know.
As a married man, I cannot be allowed to see Nyash. No, but the game Mongers played with, I think, Hippos, the semi-final. Quarter-final. They lost the quarter-final to Hippos, and then the Hippos played Pirates in the semi-final. That was a brilliant game from them. I think their try, the first try that they made, was absolutely clinical in terms of how they moved the ball to the wing, and then the boy because it just naturally has pace. That small-bodied player, I don't remember his name, the one with the scarf on. Yeah, is absolutely. Sorry,
Angana.
I think so. Is small-bodied. Is absolutely brilliant. Watch
Angana or Book.
One of them. His sidestepping is everything. Everything he does seems to be timed and well thought through, and they seem to come easy to him. So I think what team and the rest of the team at Mongers have done is absolutely brilliant. But again, which drives me to a point I was having a discussion with Soki about, Soki the commentator, but his Arnold.
Yes.
Elder brother?
Younger brother? Yeah.
Yeah,
that one, Soki.
We'll call them.
Yeah, we'll call them that.
Yeah.
And go.
Now, I was having a conversation with him, seeing how Hippos has struggled this season in terms of the
really struggled,
circuit. That in as much as they want to be good on all fronts, last season they seemed to show that they were the team in the sevens. So I thought that they would have done what I think Fiji has done.
Yes.
Focus strength on building a sevens, team that is really brilliant. That every time there's a player missing, there's someone who is able to come and step into position and actually play. I thought that the coach would have also tried to look at, in as much as we're going to play the seventh season, but I want everyone to.
Let me put something into light for you. Given how small our league is, and our, let's say, squad depth for most of these teams, if you have not 7, if you have 12 good players
for sevens,
if you have If you have 12 good players,
they'll play both ways.
Your season is unlocked.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the 7 players that are on that pitch at that time, half the time you look at those teams, all of them are starting.
Yeah.
So if those 7 guys are there putting in the same shift they're always putting in, your team is on lock. So for
the team
Ginger,
is in lock.
They're okay.
they're okay.
I have to ask, man.
Okay,
Educate-
asked and
educate
answered. Anyway, so if you have your back row, let's say your back row, your scrum half,
Yeah.
your number 10, a center and a winger
Yeah.
operating. Those are the guys you normally need in a game.
True.
The other guys what? Supplement. Now you look at guys like Echodu, Sydney, what's his name?
Santos. No, not Santos.
Owadechi.
We're talking about
What's
seven.
wrong?
Yeah, 7. Actually,
Well,
I
let's
was-
get
Warming
if-
up.
if-
There was a picture where he was warming
No,
up.
you're
Yes.
not training. Guys are already pre-seasoning for Uganda Cup.
Yeah.
You can
Wait,
have
wait.
or Victoria Cup.
Whichever comes first.
whichever
in
comes
condition.
first. Is there a Victoria Cup even?
We don't know. Anyway, so if you have those players working throughout the 7s,
Yeah.
that automatically translates to the 15th season because that guy knows how to put in a hard shift, and now his workload has been spread over
Yeah.
a period of 80 minutes, and he might probably only do 40. So when you get your players rocking in 7s, trust me, you're going to have you're going to have fewer problems to try to sort out what in 15s with just a smaller group of players. You'll not worry about the entire bunch.
Yeah.
You understand? So for Ginger Hippos to not be performing the way you want them to perform, it's probably something that easily translates from that it's crossing, it's cutting across from their 15s to 7s. They are pushing, and no doubt about it. They are pushing because most of these are the same players they had last season.
Yeah.
And they are pushing. But I have this theory that I normally what? Try to let guys know, like in a 7s tournament or in a 7s tournament, like now our tournament currently is running. A guy normally gets a tournament or 2 and he shocks everyone. After those 2 tournaments,
It's done.
everyone knows your game.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how you're coming at them.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Everyone knows which style you're going to you're going to
Operate.
bring to the table.
Yeah.
So they can counter you. You saw Bufa. You've seen what's that kid from Argentina? Moneta.
Yes.
They now know. They just filled him back in. They force him back into traffic, and he has to now pass. He's learning how to pass by force.
Yeah.
So when you find people who actually know what they're doing, you don't last that long. So if you cannot reinvent, if you cannot like switch up your style, if you have no particular trait that helps you go forward, you stagnate.
Heathens, champions.
Yeah. I think when
Also,
you look,
well done on that scoreboard.
The Jumbotron.
Okay, that what is it called? The scoreboard. What did you call it?
The Jumbotron.
Wow, well done.
Yeah.
Man, me I like to give applause where it's due. Well done, sir. Well done.
that scoreboard jumbotron that he calls
Yeah.
it got me in some bit of trouble over the weekend because I said that we now have a better scoreboard. We are willing to donate our
Donate
old one
your old
to
one
some
to-
people
to
who
some
don't
club.
have. Hey.
No, all I want to say, all I want to say is, at least you didn't talk about it in the. There's a group we are on, you and
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
and there's a group where a certain official from Kings Park keeps reminding us how their scoreboard is coming. No Heathens player talked about a jumbotron.
Yeah.
No Heathens player
Bueno.
talked about no Heathens fan talk. They just dropped it there, man. Let me tell you something. Give it to Heathens. Their organization and the way they do their stuff. Stuff. Very quiet but on point. It's better to talk about what you have done than talk about what you plan on doing, because that plan might not work. As we
Are we
can
still
see.
talking about rugby?
Yeah, okay, continue.
Bukade Magezi.
Yeah. And they are quite old. My God.
But
Yeah.
brilliantly organized by the Chadondo team, both Heathens and Buffaloes,
Yeah.
put that tournament together. For Heathens, they were, I would say they were the less affected of the top teams when it comes to when the players were plucked from each teams for the sevens, because you could still see Gokto has been in the shift for quite some time. Michael withdrew from the national team due to work duties. You had what's this boy? Malcolm has been around. He's not played the traveling tournament. Kitugum and Tororo, but when they are within, for example, at Kings Park, you'll be around. Things like that. So you look at Heathen's team, in as much as players were plucked from them, both for sevens and also injuries wise.
Yes.
They still managed to, they were still the better team, and they showed it on the weekend that they beat Cobs for death.
Yeah.
Went to the final.
Yeah.
Went to the final.
Yeah.
And you could see that in as much as Pirates were good, Heathens were just the better team in terms of they have the players, but also the experience mattered at some point, and it came to
Caesar,
play.
what do you have to say about this Malcolm kid? He came and showed maturity at the tournament. Scored 2 tries in the final, notably.
Well, I've had the privilege of watching Malcolm from school.
Yes.
I call it a privilege because he's a very prolific rugby player. He's good, and you the fact. Who cares? When a player is a subject of these the top schools, the top schools like having that battle of this guy is overage, this guy is not studying,
Yes.
this guy is okay. The officials of top schools who are running the school's rugby, they like that discussion of overage. Overage doesn't work until you're playing Hannah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when those top schools fight you, then you realize there's something they're fighting. That Malcolm boy in schools league was unbelievable. So even this year when they allowed him to play 15s, some few games, then they pulled him out. Man, there's too much politics there. When they allowed him, then they pulled him out on stuff. Man, you could see
But
it was.
you guys know what league experience does.
First, wait, let me first finish because I don't want to enter that school league thingy. But for me, Malcolm is a player to watch. He's a player to watch, and I'm just happy. I didn't watch. I just watched clips. I didn't watch him play last weekend. I just watched a few clips, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he's being talked about.
Yeah.
He's a very good player. He's a very intelligent rugby player. He's quick in his own right. He's quick, and I feel like we've not seen the last of him. I hope and pray that he keeps maturing and matching up, because the league, we've had a lot of young prospects, and and when they come to the league, the league eats them up, because there are guys like Gab who Akana Tekaso Akundeka, then he will humiliate the kid, and then the kid gives up for something. But for some reason, Chad Dondo has been able to churn out. I mean, I will listen. Not we have Philly. We have. Okay, I don't want to count my. We have Ayas. Now we have Malcolm. Even Kings Park. Even anyway, all clubs have done. But I hope and pray Malcolm keeps at it, because I've loved him since. But don't you say that, Kaki?
Producer ran the Fred and really be and be as he warms up his
I'm happy. I regret why I attended your introduction, because I missed a lot of rugby. I missed a lot of rugby that was beautiful. I was blessed to watch on TV the game he was talking about, Monga Sipos, and indeed it was a very beautiful game of rugby.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised that Chadondo organized well.
Yes.
And the fact that there was no rain wasn't the only issue to Chadondo. Is usually their flooding of their pitch.
Yeah.
They used to have an issue with washrooms, like Musa says, but now they're okay.
And they have water.
Perfect. Yeah.
They have water.
Yes.
That's
another shock.
They're okay. So I wasn't shocked by Chadondo's organization. Also, I wasn't shocked by the quality of rugby, because the quality of rugby has been. So when people talk about the quality of rugby that happened, I'm happy. Kudos to the Heathens for winning. And the teams that participated, kudos to the Cubs, because most of our team was, Echodu.
That's how Echodu was my sevens captain.
And I'm not saying he's a poor guy. He had just
this man was called out of office.
Was called out of holiday on Tuesday to train, and he put in a shift. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like teams, of course, I was whining over the collapse, but the teams didn't whine. They just dug in and they performed well. And I'm sure my team, which is the Cubs, is going to perform even better with Tororo. Because anyway,
I would like to put this out there to the fans in the clubs. A lot of these players you see wake up with just one dream. One day making it to the national team.
Yeah.
When the guy gets that call up, please respect it. Yeah. Be happy for them.
Yeah.
A lot of fans from all the different clubs made noise when they pulled their players out. Some even went as far as saying, because they don't call down from your team. No. Those guys work their entire lives for this one moment, this one chance to get a crack at that jersey. So when you want them to be dropped, hopefully sooner than later, so they can come back and play for the club, is very selfish, is very, very myopic. It was sad to see, and I tripped over that. I lost my mind. I'm like, what the? Yeah?
But you also have to understand
I understand where your emotions are coming from. I also want you to understand where my emotions came from.
Yeah. No,
These guys have worked their entire lives just for that one moment. There are guys who have tried to fight just to get back into
the sevens.
That sevens setup. Yeah.
No, true. Because at the end of the day, when you grow up watching some people play sport, and then you see them reaching levels of levels of playing for the national team and winning at national level. The reality of the matter is, even these Ugandan players, at the end of the day, they want to represent the nation. But when we talk about Malcolm for me, he was my MVP of the weekend. He was my MVP of the weekend.
Yeah.
At the times when you needed him to step up to be that playmaker that you need of him, he did exactly that. He knew just when to kick. He knew just when to hold the ball a little longer.
Yeah.
He knew how to pick out his men, and that's what you need from your guy, who is charged with the responsibility of playmaking. That's what you want from your guy. And for a young person of his caliber, he did a fantastic job. I will say what Caesar was afraid to say.
Yeah.
My only prayer is that at the end of the day, Chadondo keeps reminding this boy that he has to keep working at becoming better. If we allow this young man to get into his head that he's already become a superstar, we're going to lose a player who should be stepping into the footsteps of Ivan Magom, who should be stepping into the footsteps of Opa, who should be stepping into the steps of Joseph Aredo, because we need playmakers with that level of intelligence.
Yeah.
Players who can see a moment in a second and decide there instantly that this is what has to be done, do it. And what, like we said, we've seen players come, and it gets to moments like that. For example, and I spoke to my boy, Josiah Sempeke, because against Pirates, Cubs had the chance to actually win that game.
Yeah.
But the restart towards the last play to end the game, was it Jurua who restarted the game? I think it was him. That should have been the responsibility of Sempeke. Because now you are at the last play of the game. As the scrum half, your responsibility is identify what you're going to do it. Hold the ball and dictate the pace of the game. Jurua makes a knock-on, game is
done.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I spoke to Josiah. It's not that I'm saying this on whatever.
Yeah.
I spoke to him. If he says that I didn't speak to him, he would be lying. I spoke to him, and I even showed him different instances where I felt he should have been able to take lead. Malcolm was taking lead of that team.
Yeah.
And that, even when you have the presence of Michael Korachi on that team, you could see that he was leading that team as the scrum half should be doing.
Perfect. maybe just to bring in Gab here, what's your recap for Warriors in respect to the Chadondo Sevens?
Action. Seemingly, the same problems we've always had. Numbers at training translates to performance. So if I have a different set of 10 guys training and a different set of 10 guys training on the next training session, there's only so much you can do with that. Yeah. So, however, the recap and highlights. George has grown as a player. Scrum half, Linkman is growing as a player. He could have grown faster, but he had a hiccup that set him back a bit. So I'm glad to see that he's clicking again. He's finally working again. Though he took a hit and then his passes got wobbly completely. And then the few poor calls we were making on pitch, because yes, now we had blended in a couple of players who had not played at all.
Yeah.
It became really tough. It was like a patch and go. Then we hoped we would have Chinyai over the weekend, but he got a bike accident.
Oh,
So he had a couple of nasty bruises. We're not going to subject him to
More bruises.
So we opted to keep him out. Though he got a bit frustrated, he wanted to get on. I told him, okay.
You wanted to do your double round move, double rope.
So Marvin broke his leg, unfortunately, after the Makumbi tackle.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, so he broke his leg. It was tough. Relegation looks like it's real, but personally, coming from the 15s to the 7s, I need, like I told you, translates.
Yeah.
It translates, cuts across. So the abysmal performance we're having at the 15s will cut across the 7s, because the problems from 15s cut to 7s. They just don't disappear. So it is more of rebuilding for me, because I'm sure you guys know Warriors players, but most of the kids who are playing, none of you knows their names, apart from George, Baby, me, and Musisi. Just the guys, maybe Carl Edo, because he's always being a little Arnold, but the rest of them, you just look at faces and you're like, I've seen this guy, I think he plays for that team. So we're working on building these kids to be
The heirs.
basically the heir apparents, like just the way Kamisa Jones has been worked with.
Yeah.
I've seen him from the time, I think the first time I saw him in Sailors. Actually, I had no flyer for that, but I asked Pirates whether I could have him for a season, just for him, like, for his own development and maybe like whatever else happens. The guys were bright enough to say no. So over the weekend, he showed a ton of pace. He showed he had quite the performance.
Yeah.
Quite the performance. Yes, he's
Played in what position?
Pardon?
He was playing in
He's a
what-
flyer.
I've always I had this discussion with a few Pirates people, but of course I didn't want it to come up as me downgrading what William was doing. But I've always thought that, because a few times I'd watch Kambiza play, like even those few circuits, Kid Goom, the ones I watched, Kid
He
Goom and
was
King's
captain this
Park.
weekend.
Yeah, he
Kid Goom
was.
and King's Park. The few you could tell the brilliance. So I would always ask them, why isn't Marvin biting the bullet and actually first resting William a bit, and we tried this kid started commanding, knowing that this weekend 10 is your position. But Marvin has a way of releasing his players slowly. I don't know how he does it. He just has a way of releasing his
That is
players.
player management. That's
Player management. So I didn't over attack.
Yeah.
I mean, now he came out and he did well. So I've always thought he was a brilliant player. And to hear that you
that's
saw
the thing
him
with
even
having,
in Sailors, that's something beautiful.
that is something that comes with having a sizable squad,
Yeah.
sizable team to help you manage the squad, and because I've noticed most of the teams will go to the bench with TM, Waterboy, and coach. Marvin, if you look at the Pirates bench, how many guys do you see?
I had not paid attention.
Quite a bench.
You try to think about it, and they always move together, all of them.
There's a TM, there's a medic, I think there's a physio in there,
There's an assistant coach. There's quite a team there to manage. On game day, you don't really see 13 or 17 people like that been told. You see quite a number of people.
And there are those who are even standing behind where the fans are.
Guys, it let me just say it like this: it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
And this particular child that we are raising, you need a substantial
support.
Yeah, because there's so much one person can do. There's so much a group of people can take from one person.
Yeah.
Ruben has had my voice from inception to now.
Yeah.
It's the only voice he keeps hearing. Or occasionally we have shifted coaches.
Yeah.
And again, there's always falling back.
But what have you gotten for your work, fat man? Anyway, I wanted to ask you two questions. One to Warriors and another one personal. Yeah. Question number one. How has this 2-day thing affected your team training sessions? Because Warriors trains on Mondays and Wednesdays. And now because like these are away circuits.
So does Rhinos.
And it's so that Rhinos. Now,
so there's
you're Rhinos, so I'm asking. You're not Rhinos. I'm asking you who is here. Mondays and Wednesdays, and I don't know whether you can chip in a Friday. So, but because of like for my club, Saturday and Sunday we play rugby. So Monday, because we train Tuesday and Thursday, we use Monday as if we
recover.
Blow. You call it a blowout?
It's like a blowout.
Yeah. That's it. Now, do you also use Monday as a blowout?
Yes, I do use Monday as a blowout.
So you
no intense work.
No intense workout. So your intense rugby, your intense rugby training only happens once a week. Does it affect you in any way?
Yes, it does. First of all, getting a guy to come back on Monday after
a very hard thing. That's my question.
And now personally, I have to make it there at every session. I have to. That is my job.
Yeah.
That is my job. That is what I can give at the moment. Apart from financial, that's what I can give. I can always be present, be able to guide.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I have to do my part. Yesterday I was there. I made effort. I had some errands I was running, so I forgot to pick up some gear. But still, I got there. I got to work with some of my kickers. I got to work with some of my younger players. You know it is. So
yeah.
It's nice. It's tough.
It's very tough.
Getting a guy to come back on Monday after taking a hiding on Sunday, and the fact that this was a central circuit, guys, a lot of teams, a lot of players indulged a bit.
Yeah.
Most of the time we just pack them up after like 2 hours, pack them up and
talking about villages, you come from Nagongera, if I got it right. Yeah, so you're taking us to Tororo this week. Kend, tell us about the Tororo Sevens.
The Tororo Sevens are being hosted by Tororo Rugby Community.
Yes.
This is a team that has been started by a gentleman called Biarhanga. You know him?
No.
Timothy Biarhanga. You know Timothy Biarhanga? I think you know his face.
Yeah.
I don't know it is him. Yes, the man has come from the west all the way to the east to start rugby.
We shall have a discussion about that.
Zenganze and Swala.
That's not about
this
as an Eastern
part of the reason why we partnered with them as Meleke, not Warriors.
Yeah.
Meleke the brand. To try to get them circuit that side, so we can give back to the community that we come from.
Okay.
If for a lot of you do not know, a lot of players, quite a number of players come from what? Come from Tororo. Ramsey, former chairman, Andrew Ward,
Yes.
Matthias Ocho, Joseph Aredo.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Best number 10.
Don't put Erasmus. But that means Erasmus must have that underhanded methods.
Not really underhanded. We hope beat because Legends was not going to host the circuit this season.
Why though?
Due to there's things that I cannot discuss these things right now because there's a lot of back and forth going on.
But to me, I will say one thing: why the pitch is bad.
The pitch is not bad.
The pitch is not bad. We have a better pitch than Kings Park. I don't know what you're talking about.
Legends pitch is not bad either.
It's not.
we train there. We don't have bruises from the
Yeah.
Okay.
All the bruises we have are from all the other pitches.
Tororo.
So, however, anyway, so Tororo, we're organizing the circuit. It is it's a stone's throw from where we live.
Yeah.
It's actually in the primary school we went to as kids. I went there, I think, for what, a year or two.
Okay.
There I was there for, I think, with earlier education, like up to P1
In the 80s.
in the 80s. It's close to home.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get to host a couple of you guys in the evenings after the
Sure.
games or something.
Yes.
You're not going to be around us.
Sunday I'm coming. Sunday I'm coming.
Ernest has already reached there,
Basically,
by the way.
He's preparing for his ritual.
we are trying to
Take a photo.
like everything we have done this season for rugby, by the way, not just the Tororo Sevens. Everything we have done is I've had complaints from left, right, and center. Oh, you're taking the circuits too far.
Yeah.
The players not having fun. The players knew what they signed up for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Signed up to play rugby. Today or one day, there's always a roadmap that you guys were talking about, like a calendar, the annual calendar for the rugby union. All these things exist. The roadmap exists. So people, to allow us compete better on the international stage,
Yeah.
our players need to get used to playing
The international
tournaments.
standard.
We just fell back because a lot of these people are complaining are the ones who I call newcomers, because when I started playing rugby or playing 2-day tournaments, that stuff was harsh. Yeah? And the worst part about it, they were all in Kampala. So I would play on Saturday,
Play
go
on
to
Sunday.
stake out and suffer. Then you come back on Sunday morning and you are finished, and you still have to play the first game or some stuff like that. And it was tough.
It was ruthless.
It was ruthless. Coming back to it reminded the body that these things still happen,
Yeah.
and I can't complain about it. I know they've taken the access of the players away from most fans.
Yeah.
Now you're only seeing the guys on active game day, and then like maybe a training session if you attend. But beyond that, unless you're really close, you not see the guy. Because on Sunday, if it's up country, you have to vanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to also get back because you have to get to work. So all we have done, all this that we're doing, is just showcasing the sport all over the place, giving everyone who has put up their hands to try to help the sport grow. Because it also be very bad if a person like Timothy puts up his hand, because in the east they earmarked 2 circuits, and the Chabazinga and
Stone City.
Tororo.
Oh,
Stone
Tororo.
City is considered a central circuit.
Oh,
It
okay.
takes you about 2 hours to get
To get to there.
Okay. Perfect.
And Chabazinga.
So
More or less the
Chabazinga
same
is
time
just
to
slightly
King's
further,
Park.
but slightly in
Yeah,
the
King's Park as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Those
on the highway
potholes.
now.
Exactly. And they had a traffic
Yes.
jam.
So so
Actually, I've not been on that
So
big
anyway,
beach.
Yeah.
so
The scene of your crimes.
shut up.
Wait, we're out of time.
So anyway, so all this we're doing just to showcase the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coincidence it's at home? No. We push for it ourselves.
Yes.
We all knew, because every time we met, like the Japs, we're like, what you guys? We are
So
all
Tororo is
here,
also
here
doing
pretending
so.
to be,
Tororo is also Edwin's home.
No, Edwin's home was cut out of the road.
Yeah.
They decided to
You just
break
have to
away.
throw a chuck there. It's okay. It's okay. It's
Focus.
okay. It's
Where
okay.
mom is from
Yes,
also.
yeah.
That is life.
Yeah.
So
And that shocked their cousins. That's all.
we do what? What are we doing
Yeah.
exactly? We're talking about
The Japs had asked you to.
not
yeah.
really, but you be there and you're looking at all, not the jobs, but you look at all these accolades that guys have won. A guy like Andrew Ward,
Yes.
he's been vice president of Rugby Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No rugby tournament has ever been in Tororo.
Yeah.
No rugby team existed in Tororo. Yeah.
And then the Biaruhanga came in.
Then apart from the team in Bustema University and the one, it has 2 annexes.
Yes.
The one in Busia
Yes.
and the one in Nagongera Road.
Yes.
Those are the only guys playing rugby.
And Ramsey has been in the rugby fraternity for how long?
But how many of you even knew rugby? Ramsey is a job.
I did.
Exactly, is it?
Yeah.
So
And Olinga sounds like a Teso name.
you would think it's
Yeah.
And jumps it also?
no.
No.
Dude.
Abaganda Banyankole.
No. But you can hear later. Oh, I'm lost. Anyway,
No, I can't.
Go back to
I can't
it.
understand it.
Go back to
Yeah.
it.
So.
So anyway, so we as a group pushed.
Mm.
we are giving all the support we can to that team come this weekend. Whether they have a team that they are fielding or they are supposed to be, we are going to do everything we can to help them have a successful tournament. Because to be honest, to have a successful tournament, you need the pitches, you need the posts, and you need the players.
Sure.
And they have to play, they have to compete. Everything else that will come after that will be a bonus. Yeah.
Is there a bonus of climbing the Tororo rock?
You can climb the rock. It takes, with my fitness level, it takes about
You just have to
25
take
minutes.
Man, this
So an hour
podcast,
for Caesar.
sticks and
Pretty much.
stones.
an hour. No, an hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Caesar.
1 hour and
To get to the
45
top.
minutes.
Yeah, you get to the top. You from the top you can actually see most of the surrounding area.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can see a bit of Bukedia.
Okay. All right.
Or Palace.
I don't know.
You want to see the house in
You know how
Bukedia?
far Palitza is, way.
So where?
Someone wants to see the house in Bukedia.
You understand?
I see. Is she coming? Oh, her.
Yes.
They're called what?
Bukit, yeah.
Right honorable.
Right honorable.
Yeah.
Right honorable.
But-
Right honorable.
Is Bukit there in?
No, it's not.
This guy should keep quiet about things of the East. What am I watching?
I have to ask you.
So anyway, a one bear hanger comes, starts up a club.
Yes.
Tororo, and pushes rugby the way he was pushing it in Ginger.
Mm.
Who am I not to support him? Who am I just to? You know, I would rather try and fail, but not fail to try.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and for me, of course, the players
And
will
because there are going to be lessons learned from this,
Mm.
because it's the first time they are hosting. It's the first time we are hosting away from Legends.
yeah.
So it's going to be quite the task. Currently, because at first we had left like the stuff in their lap to see how well they can adjust, but we've decided now like to go all in and be there, because I think Erasmus will be traveling tomorrow morning with the rest of the officials who need to be on ground to make sure things are ready. So hopefully they'll get stuff ready and we'll be prime.
For those who don't know on the podcast, Erasmus is Era. When I tell the full name that people don't know. So, just to clarify before
You fire your shots.
Mileke
Is my
is
father's
co-host. I know, Bowa. Mileke is co-hosting with Tororo, the Tororo
name.
circuit.
Yes. Mileke the brand, not Mileke Warriors.
Yeah.
Mileke can partner with Cobs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Chodo.
No, I was just saying that it's in a time where we keep saying that rugby is not known by many people.
Yes.
When the circuit is taken to Kitgum, we took it taken Tororo,
It
Soroti.
was beautiful.
It's in Kitgum was
So far
beautiful.
the
Yeah.
best. Okay.
You went to Kitgum?
So far the best.
Yeah.
To be
No, no,
honest,
yes,
Did you enjoy the cold at night?
It wasn't really
it
cold.
wasn't really cold.
So it wasn't so hot during day.
It was really
It was
hot.
really hot.
Properly hot.
Interesting, because normally in the
Yeah, normally if it's
Hot days and cold
cold days,
nights.
cold nights.
Yeah.
extreme cold nights that you start freezing, somewhere would
But if you talk about cold, talk Kabale. Kabale was heavy.
No, Cavalry just suffered.
Cavalry
Me,
is-
I'm just hoping the way they did to Toro,
Mm.
for Tororo and Kitgum, they can do another circuit next year.
Yeah.
So that
Depends on the performance.
all the performance.
Yeah.
Because I remember we went to Soroti.
Mm.
That was another place we went to in
Yeah.
the east, and it was lovely.
Mm.
So let's see what Tororo
Was
has.
to
All right.
to-
Yeah, but overall, I think it's great, especially at a time when you're trying to make sure that you're extending the sport out of Kampala. I, on the locker room, I think he has had us talk
Yeah.
about this time and again that we are missing out
Yeah.
on getting some really good, good players from areas like Arua.
Yeah, we need to get the regional
Tororo,
players.
where you have Luo men who can, get this
Yeah.
man and
And do
Yeah,
what?
return to sender.
Return to man.
Bounce the email.
hand him off
Yes.
with all his
Yes.
energy. But I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
As a person who has often talked about,
low
Yeah.
men only.
One discussion here.
as a person who has often talked about branding of sport and things like that,
Yeah.
I think part of branding is how far the sport is taken closer to the people who have not really had the experience of seeing it. Some of the people that you're going to find in Tororo have never interfaced with the game before, but when they see what's happening, they'll love it for the 2 days.
People in Aurora showed up, man. People showed up and sat like down. There were not enough chairs, so people were sitting
Sitting
at the
down.
front and whatnot.
On the trees.
And they watched. Not on the trees, not trees. the stadium in Arua is in a place where
There were some 3 photos I saw.
there were too far.
You use the green light stadium?
I don't know. Wait, in Arua, yes, in Arua there were injuries. I'm talking
Yeah.
about, sorry, Kitgum.
Kitgum, yes,
Kitgum.
Kitgum. Yeah.
Kitgum, the thing is smack dab in the middle,
Yeah.
in the middle of town there with nice tarmac roads all around it.
Yeah.
And
One of the cities with the best roads, by the way, Kitgum.
Kitgum, okay, perfect.
yeah, that's good roads. by the way. So anyway, all this said, we're trying to grow the sport. We're trying to whichever way you can push for sport to grow, especially sport you love. Yeah, you do what you can.
Yeah,
If you're buying a team a box of water, that is the best you can do, and that is appreciated.
true.
If you're giving constructive criticism, that is what you can do.
Yeah.
This is a part of the podcast where I want to go into stereotypes.
But first
Opening
wait,
you-
first wait,
Yes.
before you go, I was very impressed with one particular player. I think she's 17-year-old Rebecca from Black Pirates.
Black Pulse, yes.
Black Pulse.
Yes.
That girl. Helen talked about how she had been training for, I think, a week.
Yes.
She had picked up the ball for 3 months, and then she had trained with them for just a week because they lost about 7 players to the national team.
Yeah.
She played better than you'd have expected for a girl of her age and for someone who had just picked up the ball this year.
Stereotyping.
Kudos to
Stereotyping.
kudos to the Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, they've been trying.
They've been trying.
And they've been pushing. And man,
And now they are
Pulse.
just within 3 points behind.
yeah, and
Black
Pulse are
Pulse.
just winning everything. And
Yeah.
kudos to them. Of course, you know why.
We know.
But
It's an
kudos-
inside joke, we know.
Kudos to the
So we have
Avengers. I
also
wanted
known
to say
now.
that.
Yes.
Kudos to the Avengers.
The
I
beasts.
was very happy when they won because they've been trying, they've been pushing, and they.
But,
I was also
maybe we'll
happy
ask Caesar, who is your favorite Avengers player?
Faith.
Faith, eh?
Yeah,
The
All
beast,
right.
eh?
because man, first and foremost, she's a pro, but she pushes. She's in the middle of that sevens business, man. Anyway, she just has too much heart.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes,
So,
that's
drink
too much.
some water.
Drink some
Yeah.
water.
Drink some water.
Stereotypes. Now I want to do. We talked about playing in Kitgum, Arua, Poto, whatever. Can we get some of these guys? If we have to pick players from Kitgum, which position would you want to pick or focus on? I'm also coming to Tororo. I'm also coming to Western. Then we can focus on Central.
Speak in terms of
Rugby. Which rugby position do you think they can give us players to kill us?
Wingers.
Naturally
wingers.
good
Yeah,
wingers.
they are small and fast.
They can fly.
They're a group of lanky guys.
Yeah.
Most of you guys have seen Billy. You know Billy, right? Yeah, they are built like Billy. Billy is about what? If he's very short, he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
he's at least 5
They are naturally tall guys.
So that is enough. You just have to bulk him up and keep him moving.
And some locks.
Didn't really see a lot of very tall guys because those guys that is now Arua you're looking for.
Arua now, those are the
That's why
guys who
everybody-
are
Yeah, who are the
locks.
guys you want for?
The Zikus,
Yeah.
the Munyanis.
That's Nile.
tall guys.
Yeah.
Hard impact. Who can we get from Tororo? Say for your numbers.
We are going to see.
Scrum ups.
But now we had Matthias Ocho. I don't know what you want.
Scrum ups. By the way, there's another discussion I want us to go into.
But
Stereotypes on pause.
Why did you
Stereotypes
ask the
on
worst?
pause. You mentioned Matthias Ocho. We had a discussion over the weekend, especially on Sunday. And one of the issues was that how we have a great pool of players, but we're not having those our current crop of players who can say, like Matthias Ocho, yeah, he played, but this guy has really shown that he's that guy who's going to replace him. What do you have to say about that?
It is tight. Maybe it's because unlike other markets, yeah, people like that, other markets would not really have a lot of footage of these guys playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's those small memories. It's a few of you who have interacted with these guys who know what kind of brutality came with them.
Yeah.
So when you see some of these guys, yes, the aesthetics, the guy looks buff and what, but does not lay down a beating the way this guy used to lay down a beating. You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no footage to show. Like most of the guys, like back is played in a period where very few guys are watching rugby,
But
Yeah.
it's a
but
problem.
there's footage and guys are like, eh. So if some people are going the chance of watching like Matayo rolling out at number 7,
Yes.
they would know that they would know that the task at hand
It's not easy.
is monumental.
It's monumental, yeah.
You can watch a guy like Tororo play at his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opa at his prime.
Yeah.
You would know. Because I've always been the guy who said that some of these numbers on the national team have been gifted. I'm not saying the players don't deserve to get those to play.
But some numbers have been.
I'm just saying that for me to get a certain position on like a team, you have to earn that number. You have to come and snatch it from the incumbent. They just don't gift it to you.
Yeah.
The moment they gift you a number.
I wanted to ask you, do you think it also comes with the coaching?
Yeah, the coach is also the coaching style, the coaching
Coaching
philosophy.
style, because I want to give you an example why I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
There was a Uganda Cup we won. We beat Pirates at Legends. I think 2017, 2019. I don't remember.
Something very poor at
Yeah.
such statistics.
Yes.
Such
We
that is why you need
we were playing and
Yeah.
the games were 50-50. Both teams were taking themselves. And then when Fredo made a sub and put on Timothy Mujola and
Roger Rukundo, yes, I remember that game, yeah.
They changed the rugby game. Now Rukundo had not played. Timo fine. Rukundo had not played. He had just come to train because he wanted to do fitness and then play. But then Fredo called him to play he was playing as a loose forward. Loose forward. Man, like his quality of carries and his quality of tackles, his quality of course covering, like rugby was different and it changed. It tilted the game towards Cubs. Is it the type of coaching that Alan could step away from the rugby world to play basketball, then he comes back for a final and he belittles Pirates? Like that kind of, is it the quality of coaching, the nature of the players we had then? Because I feel like those players of all that you mentioned, they just had Alex could throw a ball until he retired, but now we struggle with it.
That's a skill set you develop as you're learning how to play a sport. I'm a coach who believes in developing skill sets. There's some players that, yes, as much as they are thriving, other teams would not start for me if I had the choice. Because I believe in developing skill sets. Yeah? If I have a certain pool of players and you're the one guy who's falling short, you might think I hate you because I'm going to ride you. There's a time we'll be coaching, Ruben can tell you this one. I would make noise at the same player. I think it was Shadrach at that time. He's like, Gab, every time you're just shouting my name, I told him because I fucking care. So I'm focusing. The reason I'm riding is because I know you can do better. You're just being lazy. You're just doing things lackluster. You don't want to
put in effort.
You don't want to put in an effort. I told guys I am not the biggest unit I have ever seen.
But you can take the biggest unit.
But I'm going to do my best every time I'm given a chance. I have pushed myself because what we tell guys, a lot of players, what we tell them is coaching is like 20% of the entire damn thing.
Yeah.
The other 80 is your effort and everything else that is going to come. Your socio-economic background and all those things are going to come into that. Because I spend how many hours with you a week? 4?
Yeah.
When I'm coaching you?
4 or 5.
For Ugandan players, it's about 2 hours.
No?
They have to go for karaoke after it. And quiz.
Okay, as per like a coaching manual, we need to do a maximum of 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because that's the player's concentration right there.
Yeah.
That is even you, your coach, that is your
Concentration level.
1.5 hours. So in a week, coaching, I spend 3 hours.
Yeah.
Game day, I'll talk to you about the strategy. Before the game, if my run sheet starts as early as possible, say maybe like if we traveling up country and I'll meet you guys at 11. Maybe I'll have a word or two with you. Then we can embark. Then before the game, we're going to have that warm-up of ours. It's going to be about 30 minutes to 1 hour. And most of it, everybody's working on individual skills, stretching the individual legos and locks, getting into the zone. Then I'll give you the last talk before the game. Then I'll give you a halftime talk. and that will probably end of the talk. So, how much time is that I've spent with you? Now, all the rest of that time,
What are you doing to make yourself better in the
Are you teaching
game?
yourself how to pass? Are you what are you teaching yourself? What are you doing?
Yeah, I get gaps
Are you running?
Yeah.
I get gaps because you would
Because
find,
you're not paying for
remember when we were training, then you find like a hooker, that Alex, if you went to church on a Tuesday or a Thursday, Alex would throw a minimum of 100 balls to that, that curtain where they would stand next to the
Oh, yeah.
wall, a minimum of 100 balls. And I'm not jazzing, like a minimum. This, we do it these days only on game day.
Practice day.
That game day when you're warming up is when
And
you got.
here is like not taking it away from all these kids you see that look to be a bright future rhinos. I think rhinos guys get training by 4.
They really keep time.
Yeah.
They really
They are
keep
few
time.
guys, but they are very early.
They really keep time.
Like the amount of work you can do between 4
And
and 5:30 before training starts is a whole lot to devote
Whole
yourself.
lot.
Yeah.
I run every other day. Like when I'm not injured, I'll train on Monday, run on Tuesday, train on Wednesday, run on Thursday.
And find
Rest
gym
on
time.
Friday, and
Play on
when I was
Saturday.
younger, I would even run on Saturday morning before the game. But all those are things I did to hope
You
get the player
become
that's
better.
currently playing. This is like it was like a savings account.
Yeah.
I saved some anyways because
To use now.
prior to getting back to playing, I was really worried. I won't lie. I was really worried.
Yeah.
Like the way guys have been smoked here left, right, and center. Now me and my
6 months.
6 months, 10 months.
10 months.
The guy almost.
Almost.
Like, it's called.
The guys
it
calling
was-
this one they are calling it a pregnancy in English.
Yeah. It's called
Maternity.
Genza was in Smack. He was playing Tororo, and he was extremely fast. So I saw my 6 months band man
Come on.
covering him. I
Yeah.
said, this kid is going to beat Gap. I saw the man improving the drift. I said, he has finished the kid. The kid stopped. When I saw him changing the angle of the drift, finished.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask something. Something
Yeah.
came to my mind, and maybe I hope time can allow us.
Yeah.
What, in your mind, what does it benefit a player to be called a national team captain? Is it the emotion side to know that BOD had this armband, Mateo had this armband if he did, so I'm also having it? What does it benefit? And I'm coming from
First
the
and
side.
foremost, it's a privilege.
Leave the privilege aside. Let me finish.
But you can't leave it aside.
Then
It's
it's
the
a
first
big
thing.
it's a big thing.
It's a-
It's a big thing. It's the biggest, I believe, to be known. But don't you think we could do something more as a sport and as a nation to how am I bringing this up?
To give them a house.
Eh?
We got 23.
Pardon?
Us as the 23.
As a no. Us as a rugby fraternity, not the 23.
That's you want the 23
Yeah,
fans.
Yeah. So let him dive into it.
Yeah. Can't we do something more? If
listen,
rise to the national team captaincy,
What
rise
I
to the
can
national
say
team
is-
captaincy can say, can I get
We have laid
question?
that burden on you as captain to make the choices for us, given you know the nature of our sport.
Yeah.
Because I cannot talk much about football. I don't know how many breaks they have and how many things they
do.
like how many times the captain has to come in to make a call. But in rugby, you know how many times the captain has to come in to make a call.
Yeah.
The decisions,
Yeah.
they are big. You're the interface between the players and the management most of the time. You're doing a lot of stuff. So that in itself is a responsibility that very few get and very few how do I put this?
So is the privilege reward enough for that responsibility?
For some guys, it's like let me ask you, chairman of a club.
Mm.
That's a feather in your hat. That
Yes.
is something that being a player on the national team is different from being the captain of the national team.
Very much so.
You understand? There are doors that thing will open.
Yeah.
I look at Gonya. He was the head of the delegation.
Yeah.
He's the captain for Uganda.
Yeah.
In the Commonwealth. He's been the captain of the national team. 15th, 7th. Gonya, me and Gonya are like in the same age bracket, but do you think
I like
okay, listen, before it goes by. There are days when I'll be joking about it, and then there are days when I'll approach him as the person he is.
Yeah.
And like, Michael, this needs to do this, and that. And he'll be like, Kawa, don't do it. And then we can go back to clowning because I know he now has the ability to do certain things.
Yeah.
Understand?
I'll give an example that hits home.
Yeah. And then the reward might not be a lot, by the way.
Yeah. I'll give an example.
The reward is not a lot. It's even almost non-existent.
Yeah.
I feel
But
like that's what I wanted.
So I get the question that Caesar is asking, of as a captain of the team, as a captain of the club, as a captain of the national team, what more can we give to this person beyond the
That's what
amber?
I'm saying. But now,
So the question,
as the 23,
yeah,
see that.
and honestly, I've seen fans at Cobbs who have contributed towards some players' rent,
Yes.
who have contributed towards some players' education, and the person that they normally often ask this question, if they don't ask the coach, they'll ask the captain to verify, and hits home to you. I know of situations where you have asked Alredo about a certain player, even after years where he has not been a captain of Cobbs. Many a times there are young people, players who play for you, who play for Box. There are players who have just joined Cobbs and they still regard Alredo as captain. You understand? Because of the way he handled situations.
People still go to Brian Odom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the people
you
who
have
still
to
go to
know.
Brian Odom because he's captain.
People go to Adrian.
Yeah,
Yes.
the people go to Asaba, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what more can fans do? I think the question down comes back to how have we positioned the sport to be in a position where it is rewarding for players. I'll give an example. For me, Gab knows I've spoken about this many times. You have heard me.
Yeah.
You have been in gym together.
Yes.
When some of these deals are when some of these deals are bargained, you know, Gab may not say certain things because he's within the fraternity. Me, I'm going to say things because I don't know, but I see things that don't align. You know, when some of these deals are bargained,
Yeah.
you know, it hurts me when I have to see a player asking for transport to go back home.
Yes.
You understand? Because now I ask myself, so the deals that we are bargaining, how are they helping the teams?
Is it just on paper or it's
And
reaching the
how
person
is that help
around?
trickling down to the most important person in
This
the
is how I'm going to
cycle?
answer this for you. Because I asked the same questions. Just not here in the open to cause ruckus. I'm also controllable. They muzzle me sometimes. But, these deals are being cut. And not as big as we want them to be.
Yeah,
And because that's the nature of our sport.
yeah,
It's still growing. You're going to compete with guys who fill up a stadium like that.
yeah. Vipers and KCC will fill up that
They fill up the
20,000.
stadium and they clear all those bills.
Yeah.
And
They own the stadium.
You understand? Now, the fact that we are unable to do that is already a disservice to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more we grow, and I keep telling guys, a lot of us are going to do the hard yards here and never see the reward.
Yeah,
God forbid, podcast does all that and doesn't
Yeah.
get the reward. But a lot of you are going to walk and walk and walk, and then the future generations, maybe even 5-10 years down the road, the guys will just start joking. Not running. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
It's a sad thing, but it's the truth. Because if we all give up right now, trust me,
No,
this stuff dies.
Yeah.
So
It
for me,
dies as is.
Yeah.
so for me, this is a question that again I've posed this question to the basketball fraternity, and recently we had a sit down and we discussed ways. One of the biggest challenges is that rugby currently is marketed as a sport. You understand?
Not a lifestyle.
It's not a product.
Not a product. Okay.
It's not a product. A product encompasses the game, It encompasses the player as an individual. The product encompasses fans as an important integrity of the sport. Understand? Of course, I'm happy that Kratos, Naruvale, I've seen Pirates themselves have got a bit of a media team that does this, where they highlight fans. The reality of the matter is sponsors move with fans because they know that Aredo, Gabri, is going to be on pitch and he will run, he will make a tackle, he will make a try. That is guaranteed.
Yeah.
But who is that person who is behind you cheering you on? I don't know that person. Can I see that person? How do they behave when they are around the game? When they are coming for the game, what is the atmosphere? That is all part of a product. That means that, for example, and I've said this before, some of the biggest fixtures we have are not well marketed in rugby.
Yes.
When you have Cobs taking on Heathens,
yes,
it is Moses, Edwin, the same people who always go to Chadondo are the ones talking about the sport, are the ones getting the same information because that information is shared within the same circles.
Yes.
Maybe the union does not have the funding to try and market it. Granted. Yeah. When you look at Heathens versus Pirates on their own will try to reach
we'll do
try
as
to
much
expand
as they can,
beyond.
yes.
Yeah. But what are others doing? And it comes back down to some things I've said.
Yeah.
Heathens and Cobs, you have fans who have been there with you for time and again. Yes.
Some things have to change.
But
stop. A lot of things have to change for this kind of things to happen. You understand? Let me give you the most basic. Player recruitment.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Player recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your teams, a lot of the big teams do a lot of player tampering. You
Yeah.
find a guy growing and you go snatch him. That team has to rebuild. Now you have tasked that team with getting a new player to build to cover that guy
And then in 2
and then
months
also be able to compete. Then you are going to come from up there and stamp on this guy again. This guy cannot build a following when you're always taking from him.
Yeah.
You don't want to compensate him for what you have taken, and you still want him to compete. Then you're going to talk down to him.
Yeah.
Then you're going to say, I'm sorry to say, but things like that. What are the other teams doing? We're trying to survive, to be honest. So when the player tampering stops, and when we have enough policies, enough respect within the ranks to say that, give me this guy, then I'm going to push these guys to you. Right now, the clubs don't even have the ability to push their own players to other teams to get experience. Yeah, because half the time the clubs speak, they don't even hold that much power against their players anymore.
Yeah.
The guy speaks and the player just stops playing. There's nothing. There's no. Let me say, reward that is befitting that player to do what you're saying. You understand?
I'm happy that today my discussion has made Gabs say
there's something you said, especially about the product part.
Yeah.
And
So,
I want to use your example of how you guys packaged your attendance in Randolph, that tournament that took place. Man, like, even me, who was just watching the Silverbacks once in a while because of pressure.
Yeah.
Again, I found myself, we had a podcast.
Yeah.
Was it last week? Yeah. And we were watching the game against, what was it? Rwanda, yes. The game against Rwanda, yes. That game that we lost and where we nearly came back.
Yes.
We're all here watching because you guys in Kigali, you and your team, I even don't know if you are paid. You're all saying that you don't want the payment. You guys made it look like a product, a lifestyle. And I think what you say is very critical. If rugby is going to go down those paths.
You know, we do have those before they were going to Kigali for games, we were going to Nairobi for games.
Yeah, but what he's saying is very critical is that it kind of influenced the whole kind of trend or wave supporting the girls and whatever and pushing them.
So here's the thing.
Let him pass finish, yes.
So here's the thing. One, we're not paid.
Yeah.
That's a clarification.
Yeah.
We're not paid.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've been to Rwanda. I think personally this was the third time. Some guys, this was their fourth time watching basketball. We started with BAL. and then we went with the Silverbacks. But because first of all, FUBA does not have the capacity.
The capacity, yes.
To pay us to go and do that.
Yes.
While right now they are struggling. They have not taken the Silverbacks to Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's expensive. So what I can say is, as fans, we watched the Gazelles qualify here in Kampala, and when we discovered that the girls went through a wild card.
Yes.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
It means that they were the second best team in our qualifying area, not because normally in qualifiers each zone takes one team. But they look at overall of all the qualifications. Overall second best performer, and Uganda was the overall second best performer.
So they took the wild card spot.
Yes, so they gave us the wild card spot. Now, when that happened, about 2 months to the tournament, me, Biwol, Bakshi, Telma, the normal crew that Charles Gava, the normal crew that travels to Kigali, we said, you know what, we're going to Kigali. Why not call up? Why not just, encourage some people to join us? We started, sending out a few messages here and there, and before we knew it,
yeah.
By the way, some people I met them for the first time while in Kigali, and then we found people come. Now, for us, of course, we knew that we were going there to watch the Gazelles, and for some people who follow me, you could see that I started doing player profiling. I would profile certain players. Each day I would profile 1 or 2 players. Now, when we got there, because we knew that the girls needed the push, first of all, the week 2, many fans were tweeting the Gazelles. In that week alone, when we were tweeting, there are people who made decisions that they were going to go to Kigali. I missed the first game because I had a workshop in Kampala. Felt bad.
Yeah.
I watched it online, saw a couple of mistakes being made by some senior players, and I wasn't happy. But when I got there, one of the things that I loved about the fans that were in Kigali was they talked about the team when the team was, because what the media team also did of the Gazelles was they would share with us moment to moment footage.
Yeah.
And that does a lot for fans who are going to support you. If you're sending me pictures of the team training, he's going to tweet. We might tweet the same pictures, but we're talking about two different. Our captions are two different things, but all communicating one thing. Yeah. And so what happened is that right now the Gazelles looks like a product because the team did its job. Albeit they didn't achieve what the players thought they could have achieved because we lost a very critical player against a Rwanda game. Now the brands that will want to associate with the Gazelles know that they have a fan base that is very vocal, that will move with them.
I'm not taking anything away from what you guys have done. But one thing I'll always tell you that when it comes to Uganda, you can always count on us to support our own.
True.
When it comes to sport, we shall always go to bat. If you guys may travel, but just know when it comes to back home, whoever's traveled is the one they are following, because that's the guy who's going to give us the update. The guy who's going to give us one.
Exactly.
So
now,
the only thing that has changed in the last couple of years, because I remember rugby podcast, is not the advent part, the popularity of social media.
Yes.
Because trust me, some of you were young, if even me I was young at some point, if the Elgon Cup tours had been recorded and broadcast the way you guys do the rugby thing, Kigali is not that far away, by the way.
It's not.
Kenya is actually far.
Nairobi is far.
It's actually a proper beating to
your body.
Your body and wallet.
Your body might survive your spine.
Yeah.
It is quite a distance.
Yeah.
But the fact that we would take 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And if who were tweeting as much back then if there was the penetration of smartphones and thingy had been that good. This traction that we are fighting to grab now using the Pirates Wave, the Hidden Ziamani, the whoever is currently trying to build the social media traction.
Yeah.
Would have that.
Yeah, I think for me, again, back to not to derail far away from the point, is I've told Caesar this. Maybe he will punch me after the show.
Yeah.
Cubs fans need to avoid trying to lock up. Hidden's fans need to try to avoid it, locking up. You know, creating those
cocoons.
So to say. It's very common at Hidden's. It's common at Cubs. Now, if you go to Pirates
and even Hippos, maybe.
The illusion is that we're all one big happy family.
Yes.
You understand? A sponsor wants to see that.
Exactly.
A sponsor wants to see one big happy family. A sponsor wants to know that there is intent by even the fans themselves to bring more fans. You get? Because that means that Gabriel Aredo doesn't have to worry about getting fans. He has to worry about the fitness of his players, ensuring that they have a perfect gameplay for the day. It now means that when Black Barrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
9 barrels.
9 barrels.
Yes.
9 barrels. Yeah, comes. They are going to say, this year, these guys had 500 fans.
Yeah.
But it looks like next year they are going to get to 1,000. When they are coming back to renegotiate a deal, Gabi is like, man, guys, we started with 300, we are now at 500, we're seeing ourselves getting to
add more.
Here is where I'm going to point out something. So, the guys like to see numbers, that is true. But they also like to see those numbers translate into what?
Sales. Yeah.
So, if those guys are not translating to sales, there are a lot of hiccups that we have had with sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, we can see you have numbers there, but our sales don't reflect it. At your gains, this, at that. Yes, the flexi pay thing they're just saying. These guys trying to translate their numbers into what?
Yeah.
So
transactions.
Transactions that can actually be beneficial to the sponsor.
And here's where I love how FlexiPay responded to this.
Yes.
They saw that rugby is culturally it's beer.
Yeah.
And there's a culture of party.
Yes.
How do we tap into that?
How do we market our app and our platform at the same
time?
You get
what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Make money off it.
So of course, also as a company, and I'm not going to ask the teams to be the ones to design for you, to think for you. When you come into my world and you want to use my world, I'm telling you this is how my world runs.
Yes.
Yeah? The onus now comes back to you and your team to figure out how do I get into your world, and how do I take the best advantage of your world.
Yeah.
Now it's why you're seeing certain sports. Hey.
Guys are eating ribs. Guys are eating ribs and we're here. Go on.
So
10 more minutes because Gav is over jazzing.
So I would say rugby has created a party culture.
Yeah.
And world over, we know that rugby is a party sport.
It's one big party.
Yeah, it's a one big party. So the life is party. You as a sponsor, when you come on board, I am not supposed to think for you how you're going to take advantage of the party. FlexiPay came in, they said, you know what? These guys are a party. How do we make them party even more using our platform?
Yeah.
They say, beer, if you buy using FlexiPay, 0.5%. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they are seeing the numbers have translated.
Yes.
You get what I mean? I saw Sprint recently at Chadondo.
Yes.
They came. They know.
They gave,
the guys love banter.
Mm.
What do you do? Provide them with free Wi-Fi. provided Wi-Fi. Actually, people who use the Wi-Fi on the day, they said, hey man, this Wi-Fi is actually good.
Yeah.
Some people went and bought.
The MVP got 6 months of
free
Wi-Fi.
Hopefully that MVP doesn't still stay with the parents.
Just parents out of
This internet.
You change the password.
But you see, you get what I mean. So, as a teams, it's very difficult for Gab.
Yes.
To think about all these things as a coach, and then you become the team, and then all these things. It's easier for Pirates because now for them they have a very big team.
They even have very many lawyers. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. That they have a team that is so they are their comms team alone is big enough.
Yeah, they do a solid job.
Big team. And then of course they are dealing with young, vibrant people.
Exactly.
Now what I was telling Heathens and Cobs is a Kambakuba Amanda.
Yes.
When you're growing and when you really want some of these sponsors, the reality is you need these young and vibrant people in your team. How do you welcome them into your team? Because, for example, you ask kids, why are you choosing Pirates? They'll tell you, because for us they made it look like it's welcoming to even us as young people. It's a vibe. Now even the old guys, you'd ask them where you man, I'm going to Kings Park. But there's a game at Legends. Man.
Vibe.
So you get. So even the sponsors are going to start saying, hey, but it seems that is where
that's where the fire is. Yes.
You get. Because at the end of the day, every sponsor is going to look for where the vibe is. Like Cobbs. Again, I'm hitting you.
Yeah.
Absa comes to you, they are giving you warm-up kits.
Exactly.
How is that not being translated into a 300 million
sponsorship? Actually, the week they gave them kits, they had a funding of that. I think there was a hills race, not the NSF one, but there was another marathon kind of thing that they did around. And
because that sponsor wants to know that from just your fan base, they can guarantee themselves 1,000 runners.
Actually, they gave golf money. Sorry, I was getting the facts wrong. They gave golf money. Then in the same week when they gave the vests and whatever.
You understand?
Yes.
Heathens, why are you not still why are you not in a position to re-attract MTN?
Yes.
You understand? Because MTN understands rugby.
But you guys need to know that every CEO that comes into the market
has a different spot that
has a different spot they love.
They are aligned with.
So,
yeah.
Like what? 4 years ago, should I say? The Coca-Cola CEO was a rugby mad guy.
Yeah.
I met him once. I was doing some work at his place. I met him once where we were having a conversation about rugby and other things that he was doing and whatnot. And I realized, so these people do exist, but access to them also. I remember when he gave us 15K total.
You want some ribs?
No, I'm just by his.
You're reflecting on how you got vests and others got 100 million.
When Total gave us 15K and you guys went to town on Total. Total is dipping its toe into the what?
Into the rugby world.
Into the rugby world and seeing
is it
whether it's worth their time or
they're
just wasting time. But you guys came out swinging. I'm trying to calm down.
Too entitled.
That is 15K we didn't have.
Yes.
It's probably going to transport those guys for that time. We are so used to
big
like his numbers.
Yes.
100 million, 300 million. We are so used to.
I was giving an example.
Yeah, I'm not saying. But the example comes from a place that is familiar. So those are things they're used to. Big money sponsor one guy.
Yeah.
People like Total come from markets whereby, yes, you have Total on your shirt, but you have Oppo on your shirt, you have Team Viewer, you have what? You have multiple sponsors coming to give you everything you need as a unit. We're still on that one guy on their shirt.
Yeah. Market.
Who, by the way, I have my issues with. Go on.
So we need to what? We need to pivot away from such
conversation.
People like Rhinos are doing the most. Rhinos have Snap Juice. They have Jibu. They have what else? I saw that They were
Sunny
hitting
tours
Royco.
and travel outdoors.
Yeah. Then
The
Sunny
guys give them
outdoors.
10
No,
sun.
people doing small things.
Yeah.
Let me not call them small things. They're actually monumental things. They're doing things for their
Egos
teams.
as well.
Yeah. Because I'll agree with you that, for example, Jibu Water alone, as someone who has been in sport enough,
Yeah.
you know that water is probably the most expensive.
We took it for granted when we were getting free water from Rwenzori.
Yeah.
Now Rwenzori has pulled out. He's only in the deal. I think they're renegotiating.
Yeah.
Do you see how teams are struggling?
True.
Yeah. Water is it's not that expensive like you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's finding the water that you need
Every day.
every day becomes problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Kitkumba looking for Jibu. There's no Jibu in Kitkumba. I was buying those Rwenzori disposables, the big ones.
And pouring in Jibu.
Not pouring in Jibu. I'm not sponsored by Jibu.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just like I had Jibu empties I was getting from Cobbs and
Yeah.
the other teams. So we're thinking that Cobbs is carrying 9 bottles. Let's use the 9 bottles and refill all the 9 bottles. But that wasn't happening there. Yeah. In Tororo there was Jibu, which was good. But you see, those things, those small
Sponsorships.
sponsorships eventually add up.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I can have a guy sponsoring, he's taking care of 3 players. I can have a guy sponsoring, he's taking care of the team's medical. I can have a guy sponsoring, he's taking care of our water and stuff like that. And that eventually offsets the costs.
Yeah. And maybe finally, I agree entirely. For example, if a sponsor is going to come on board with you, the first time they will come and they will give you 10 million
To see how you
to see how you're doing. And
That's
then
what Tony did when it came to us.
yeah. And then
Offered us 10 million shillings sponsorship.
yeah.
Me and my big mom, I was saying, no. The guys told me, man, last 10 million we don't have, let's first busy. So we took the 10 million. The 10 million turned into about 5-point-something million monthly. Because we're now moved to payroll.
Yes.
We could submit our
Stuff.
whatever, our, what do you call them, expenses for the month.
And then
And
they pay
they'll
that.
cash according to that.
Yeah.
So whether it was 5, whether it was 7, whether it was 6, and they'll pay every month. And that is how sponsors come in. Total came 15K, now was left, right, name, people think they know when they don't know.
Yeah.
And now I've not seen Total anywhere since.
Yeah, the funny thing about the world of sponsorship and branding is
Yes.
it's a cutthroat. You know, the sponsor wants to see how they benefit. You want to benefit
Without giving him anything in return.
without giving him anything
Because
because
before I appoint a sponsor, I wonder, what does this guy do? What do I have to give him to get him comfortable?
yeah.
You see?
Yeah, because you see, in the long run, the sponsor is, for example, Total. Maybe one of the things that the union could have done is discuss, cards with fans. Yeah, where fans buy cards.
Before the union even got that chance, you saw what we did.
True. But okay, quickly away from that, because that's a very unending topic. Now, the other topic I want to discuss is I'll talk about. I'll give an example. KCCA Football Club
Yes.
identified that most of its fans are not that affluently rich, although they have a very big chunk of affluently rich fans as well.
Yes.
But they discovered that they have a section of fans that are not as affluently rich as well. Their kits are being sold at 50K.
Yes. All replicas.
All replicas.
Yeah. Actually,
Do
bought one
people
as well.
want to tell me that you know that football does not make extremely quality shirts?
Are they making extremely quality shirts?
Of course, they do make extremely quality shirts.
Yeah.
Which ones?
For
here?
example,
Which ones here?
no, in Uganda, I can't say I know any. But if we go,
But you know, when it comes to rugby jersey, it's an extremely quality.
there's
No,
an
go on,
extreme,
go on.
there's an extremely
Yeah.
quality shirt and all that. Yeah.
Go on.
Because I think I checked the All Blacks. There were
Yeah.
shirts that were going for $100. There were those
That's
that were
300K.
that's 380K.
Yeah.
Let's say 400K. There were those that were going for $120.
Yes.
So, but then there are also those that are $70.
Yes.
$60,
$60.
$80.
Yeah.
Which is still not anywhere near the number you're
No,
thinking
but
about.
imagine if you're buying at $70, you're probably paying 230,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not paying 380k.
Yes.
That's a big difference. If you come down to Uganda here,
Wait.
but also
So I know that the different quality.
yes, different qualities dictate different
But
prices.
in football, what I've seen is there's a player version, there's a fans version.
Of those, I will tell you, especially the ones that you buy on Kampala Street.
You're buying something from China here. I know that.
Hey, you're buying.
That's
You're
why you're
buying.
paying 70k for it.
You're buying.
Instead
You're
of
buying what you
$70.
call lower grade quality.
There's no
Yeah.
market rate, it's,
You're
No,
not
go
even-
back to the Uganda thing.
Now, when you come back to Uganda,
Yes.
yeah, you have to identify with your fans. That's the unfortunate reality. Now, if you know that your fan base, let me tell you, Ugandans will have money to drink beer
Yes.
at any time. But when you tell them to buy a kit at 200k,
give him a payment plan.
they will freeze.
Give them a
But
payment
give them a payment plan, good
Yeah,
idea.
Tell the guy every weekend you come here for 4 weekends. You drop 50k. You'll get
Good
a
idea.
jersey.
But how many Ugandans will follow that?
No,
You might
that's the thing. The problem, the thing is also when you get into this kind of business, you're going to have problems. The great pirates got problems. They got an extremely high quality jersey from Samurai and got guys replicas, which you saw how that ended up on social media.
yeah.
Yeah? That is not a good look. You understand?
It's
Then guys
not.
are being told to swap jerseys. So what I'm telling you is, fans also have to understand. You want good stuff, we want to give you good stuff, and you're going to also have to what? At least part with cost.
Yeah.
Not a profit, but cost.
Which
Because
takes
we would like to see our guys in replica jerseys. We would like to see them out there.
yeah. Again,
Unfortunately, most guys are not doing what?
which takes me back to the question of discussion.
Yeah.
For me, if fans want to identify with you, but they have clearly showed you that they cannot afford, a certain price, give them the quality and tell them, guys, these are the quality variations in terms of pricing. Yeah, this one is really, really thinking about the ribs.
No. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Attentively.
If you have a samurai kit that to buy it you need to pay 250, tell the fans, guys, this quality goes for 250. However, if you just want a kit to wear,
Yeah.
there's a quality of 100,
100.
there's a quality of 80. If you want the one of 250, there's a commitment that you want. If you can't pay at once, there's a commitment you have to make. You enter into commitments with these funds, like you said, payment plan. Because at the end of the day, some funds, if he gets the kit, he'll wear
Puts
it
it once.
and he's like,
He puts on once a month, unless there's national team games day in, day out.
yeah, guys, like,
Yeah.
what's up? You know.
200k just like that?
Yeah.
No, impossible.
Now, for example, the national team 15s, for them, many people are not buying their kits because guys are like, man, tetwagala elikochi
Yes.
sponsor.
Yes.
Because for some people, they don't identify with the beer.
Yeah.
You get. But the sponsor needs to make money because he wants to see the mileage that the whatever goes.
Yeah.
Echodu Moses is a Pepsi guy. You know,
Yes.
everyone knows Moses Echodu drinks Pepsi and water.
Yes.
And for him, it's okay to go for the night. But now he can't be seen with that replica that has on Nile Special.
Yes.
So there has to be how you meet different levels of fans at their levels, with the hope that they will grow with you to a point where they will be able to buy that caliber.
Well, perfect. It's just one of those things that goes into very many considerations when you're trying to factor in how to grow a game of rugby. We've had a long discussion here. We usually say the vibe is at King's Park, but now the vibe is in the Fred and Winnie B&B kitchen.
Yeah.
So there were some plates and forks making some sounds here. The producers cut them out, but we've been summoned for dinner, and I think it's time to go. So thank you very much for watching. This weekend, Tororo Sevens, so do keep up with the rugby in Tororo, and we'll keep on updating you on our platforms. Have a nice weekend, and sign out from us.